Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome back to Omnifactory episode 5. So between episodes I went ahead and added a couple more low voltage machines here, mostly these just do some processing. But the thing I really wanted to show you was I built this little contraption here. And the point of this thing is to produce this pulsating polymer clay from as few inputs as possible. And by as few inputs as possible, I mean really just one. It takes ender pearls. So let me walk you through how this works. It technically takes cobblestone as input, but we have a cobblestone generator producing it. This macerator turns cobblestone into gravel. This next one turns gravel into sand, and then we split the sand, in two ways, 50-50. So half of the sand gets turned into dust, which then gets turned into clay, and we just keep a drawer of it because we use quite a bit of clay. The other half gets smelted into glass, which then gets electrolyzed into nether quartz. So what we can do is we can take the nether quartz and combine it with this molten resonant ender, which produces resonant clathrates. And this resonant ender comes from from melting down the ender pearls that we input. Now we make these resonant clathrates. We can then smelt them in a furnace to get pulsating dust, and combine the pulsating dust with the clay from earlier to produce this pulsating polymer clay. So it's quite a few steps, but that's why you hook up all the machines. And for now, we have to manually put in the ender pearls, but I would like to make it so that when we have something better set up, that we can automatically pipe ender pearls into there. So we can take our pulsating polymer clay and bring it over here to our deep mob learning setup. Now if you see, I set up a couple more simulation chambers too. So we're running spider simulations. Spiders, let's see here. We use that to produce copper. And then we have zombie, which again produces a lot of the iron that we need. Ghast, which might seem like a weird choice, but ghast produces silver, and we need a good bit of silver going forward. Blaze to produce blaze rods. And gold. And Enderman to produce the ender pearls that feed this whole thing. Cool, huh? So now that this is somewhat automated, we're still running, ender pearls and clay back and forth. I think we can leave this be for a little while, and let's look to upgrade our power system yet again. So I went ahead and upgraded all of these to the reinforced tier and gave them some augments. So if you see, our magmatic dynamos are now producing 1200 RF a tick. This one has, I think, an extra augment in it, so it produces 1300. And then our steam dynamos are also producing a little bit more. But we're at the point where we're burning through this charcoal pretty quickly, and I don't really want to have to go, chop a forest every couple hours, right? So I think our next goal to support this power generation will be to make the farming station. So the recipe is not all that bad. It takes an autoclave and this component, just in the most recent patch, got this easy recipe that only uses a tier 2 circuit and doesn't use a slice and splice, which uses tungsten steel. So since we can now make it without the slice and splice, we actually have all the stuff we need to make it now. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a Z-Logic controller and a farming station. Alright, we're still crafting some of the components we need to set up the farm. You see, we already have the farming station capacitor bank for it, but I actually managed to use up every last one of my Omni coins. So I think now is a good time to let's go to the quest book and claim all our unclaimed quest rewards. And really, I haven't been mining in like 2 episodes now, just off of using Omni coins when I run out. So Omni coins are a very powerful mechanic that can save you a lot of time. So if you see, now we suddenly have quite a bit more. What does that add up to? 41 Omni nickels. So yeah, this will probably keep me going for another episode or 2. And with any luck, we might never go mining again this series. Who knows? Alright, we have our tree farm set up, and look at how quick these trees grow. I mean, they're just popping up and getting chopped down, and I guess when it fills up, it stops. But Next thing we have to do is automate the extraction of the items from it and also automate the filling of it with a hoe and an axe. Actually, I had a diamond hoe in there at the very start and it's already gone in 30 seconds. So what we're going to do for that is use a mechanical crafter just to keep it stocked with cobblestone hoes and axes. It'll work fine. It won't be, as fast as if it had a diamond hoe or axe in it, but that's fine. So yeah, let's get that set up. Alright, let's just take a moment to appreciate how ridiculous this tree farm is. Right now we're burning the wood just as is because we don't actually have a way of turning wood into charcoal fast enough to keep up with this tree farm. So where all the wiring's down here, I can show you really quickly. So that block right here is our farming station. We extract wood from it and turn it into sticks here. Then there's cobblestone generators underneath each of these. So here we make axes, and here we make hoes. The farming station requires hoes to plant saplings, so it gets hoes, whatever. And you can hear the little clicks in the background. That's how quickly the axes and hoes are breaking. So we come over here, we extract from the farming station, put it into these drawers. Right now, these drawers simply have emerald upgrades in them. I will be putting void upgrades in them soon. They'll fill up far faster than we can consume them, but that's fine. So right now we only use the wood out of it. We extract from there, we follow this conduit along, comes over to here, and we insert it into our steam dynamos. And again, the wood doesn't last for long. It's 300 ticks, and because these burn fuel very quickly, it's probably like half a second each. But even then, the farm's easily able to keep up. Awesome. Next up, let's see about making some easier tier 1 circuits. So right now we're using this recipe to make primitive circuits, and it uses a lot of this red alloy cable, which is pretty expensive. It's 4 redstone and a copper. So let's see if we can upgrade to making, not that one quite yet, but this one, the electronic circuit. So to do so, we need this phenolic substrate, which are these coated circuit boards, which we've already made a bunch of, but we also need phenol, which will come from a pyrolyzed oven cooking up coal. Unfortunately, coal or coal dust are our only options, so we can't use charcoal that we can produce in great quantity, but that's fine. So I've already gathered the supplies for this. This is another multi-block like the blast furnace, but the shape is a little different. So instead of being 4 tall, it's 4 long. Besides that, there's no real meaningful difference. So let's go ahead and build this. So this one has the coils lying this way, and I believe it's still a hollow center. Like that. And you look at that, exactly the right number of blocks, and it forms. So it doesn't use much energy, and it's a pretty slow machine, but we can just let it run in the background while we process other stuff. So to run it, we need to give it coal in this slot and steam in that slot. So give me a second, I'm going to make a boiler real quick to produce the steam, and be right back. So now we have a fluid heater turning some water into steam, which is pushed into the pyrolysis oven. Now all we have to do is put the fuel in here, and it doesn't start automatically because there's multiple recipes in here that involve coal. Basically, we get to choose, or I guess in this case there isn't. But it says we need a program circuit on configuration 1. So let's do that real quick, and it should start processing this. The coal coke it produces can be cooked into, or it can be used as like furnace fuels. But what we're really after is the fluid. So with the fluid, we can make a chemical reactor, and then we can turn that fluid into something more useful. Putting it all together, we can now make our second tier 1 processors. These have to be made in the assembly machine using soldering alloy, so we can't make these by hand, but that's alright. And with the supplies that I gathered, this should be enough to make 2 stacks of these. So not only are these slightly easier to make, individually than the first ones, when you combine them into these tier 2 circuits, it only takes 3 to make one instead of 4. So we'll probably make, about 20-ish tier 2 circuits, and we'll use those to work our way up to the next thing we try to accomplish. So, working towards our next goal of getting to the end, we have to make some black steel, which is made from black steel dust in a blast furnace. And black steel dust is made from steel dust, black bronze dust. Both of those are easy, but we need void crystals and red coal. So void crystals is coal in a atomic reconstructor, and red coal is coal or charcoal in a resonator. So I just made this atomic reconstructor here. Let's make some Restonia crystals and some void crystals. Perfect. So the next step then is to make that resonator and enough grid power to power it. And now we're ready to make our red coal. We have our charcoal. It takes 16 grid power, and the manual mill makes 15 while we're clicking it. So I made a single solar power for 1, and we just have to click this for a little bit. And for now, we only need a couple pieces, so we'll just let this run for a minute or 2 and come back when it's done. All right, I think we're ready to head over to the end and take on the Ender Dragon, and loot his home. We have our bow, some arrows, a sword, a pick, some food, and perhaps most importantly, a jetpack. So here goes nothing. Alright, well, good thing we have the jetpack. So this fight with the jetpack is a pretty easy fight. You kind of just go and nail all the crystals. Probably play through this at high speed. Don't have much armor, so I do have to respect the crystal explosions. I think they'll one-shot me if I'm too close. One left. appear to have upset some Endermen. Would you look at that, one Ender Dragon down. Let's snag some of this dragon's breath, or not. Let's not snag some of that dragon's breath. So we'll grab the heart, we'll grab the egg. We'll probably use this first egg as a to power a dragon egg mill for GP. And we got the heart, cool. While we're here, let's see. Let's grab a little bit of draconium. It just spawns on this in the end in these small veins. You usually find it looking on the surface. There's some. We can't smelt the dust yet, but what we can do is we can take this. So to smelt it, we need a high temperature blast furnace, a freezer, cetane boosted diesel. But what we can do is we can make a dislocator with these. So just making a dislocator is worth it. We can bind one. I guess we'll bind one here in the end, one in the nether. And it'll let us teleport around, one in our base. Let's pop over to one of the end islands as well. And grab ourselves some chorus fruit. Alright, while I'm here, I'm going to take a quick look around, see if I can find an elytra. Elytra number 1. And elytra number 2. We need 2 of these so that we can make the advanced glider. The advanced hang glider. This actually it basically lets you fly super fast. Alright, time to head home. So a quick demonstration for what the advanced glider can do. It's basically just fast jetpack movement. I think it's faster than a tier 3 jetpack, but maybe about the same as a tier 4 jetpack. Cool, huh? I need another star, but I really don't like fighting withers. Let's see if I did this right. He should get stuck in the nether or in the ceiling and be unable to hit me. Really a big fan of fair boss fights, you know? Thanks, Wither. With that nether star, we made a wither data model, which is the deep mob learning template for withers. And if you look, it uses a lot of RF, but we only had to run it 21 times to get a pristine wither matter. From this, we're going to make a single drop of evil, and we'll use this to make an Enderman farm in the end. So see you in the end. Alright, and here we have it. One Cursed Earth Enderman farm in the end. You can see the main island off in the distance there. So 10 by 10, but it'll spawn Enderman plenty quick for our needs for now at least. We might have to upgrade to a larger platform later, but yep, let's bind our dislocator here so that we can come back here whenever. Actually, let's bind it down here. There we go. And back to the overworld we go. Of course, as soon as I get back to the overworld, I realize I forgot to chunk load this, so we should probably do that. There we go. And we're back in the overworld now. If you look at this ender chest that's linked to the one in the end, we can see that we have ender pearls and some experience slowly flowing in. It's flowing into this drawer system here, which feeds into our pulsating clay automation. So now pulsating clay is 100% automated. We just have to get it from here to there. Or I think I'm going to move deep map learning over to this area here. So we'll have to move the clay from here to there. It'll be a shorter trip. But yeah, with that, I think we can wrap up this episode. We got a lot done this time. We killed the dragon, the wither. I mean, I don't know if it counts as killing the wither, but hey, we killed the wither. We set up full automation for deep mob learning, and we got a lot of technology. Well, I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.